56 is finite and infinite sets. Then we'll talk about membership in a set, and then we'll do rearranging before graphing and graphing lines review, okay? So finite means bounded or limited, okay? And infinite means unbounded or without limit. So for example, is set R or set Q finite? Yes. Okay, this one right here is finite. It has an endpoint. There's only 4 numbers in it. Okay. Set Q is infinite because of the dot, dot, dot. So it goes forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay. So we have a finite set and an infinite set. Yes.
Does infinite have a start?
This one does have a start. Yeah. It could have dots on both sides too. All right. But this one would be 4 and up, which is forever up. All right, membership in a set. First it says, represent the following numbers as being members of set K. All right, so they're telling you to label this set K, and we do these brackety things like that. So you actually want to do them like that, okay? Do you have a question, Nolan?
Yeah, is that how you pronounce finite?
How do you pronounce it?
I was thinking infinite.
I think it's finite. I think it's finite. Yeah, but infinite, I know it's weird that it changes. Infinite, that's not right. Okay, I don't know. All right. So here we go. We're going to put these in order. So there's a 0 and a 0. We only need to list it one time. Okay, 0 is a part of set K. And then we have a 1. And then we have a 3. And then we have a 5, and then we have a 9. And again, I only listed the 5 one time. All right, 5 is a member of set K. All right, and 0 is a member. So these symbols you're going to see in math quite a bit. All right, so this is kind of like an E. So you kind of make a C, and then you put a line here. And this symbol means is an element of. Element of. Okay, and then this one that has the line through it means is not an element of. I really just wanted to make that a K, I don't know why. Element of, there you go. So for example, I could say 1 is an element of K, all right? But like the number 2 is not an element of K because there's no 2 in the group K. All right. So yeah, there you go. I just did that. Okay. Given these lovely sets, so these are all finite sets. All right. A is 0, 2, 4. B is 0, 1, 5, 6. C is 1, 3, 4, 6. Okay. Are the following statements true or false? So you would read this, self, 5 is an element of B. And you would go look at B and you would be like, that is true. All right, because 5 is in B. Okay. Now this next one says 5 is not an element of C. And you would go look over here at C and see if that's true. And that is true. 5 is not an element of C. So that is true. Okay. 0 is not an element of A. And you would go look over here at A, and that would be what? False. Because it says not an element, and it is an element of A. All right, and then I have 3 is not an element of C. That is false, because it is an element of C. All right, rearrange and graph. So write down, yeah. Oh, well, you could still check for infinite. Like, let's say that this was A equals 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 dot. And it said something like 6 is an element of set A. You would say yes, because it's going up. And you can see the pattern there. All right. That's it. All right. Rearrange before graphing. Go ahead and write this down. 3x plus 2y equals 4. So in order to graph, we have to be in slope-intercept form We need y by itself, all right? So I want my equation to always look like this. It's even helpful to put the x term first and the constant second, okay? So I'm going to isolate the y by first getting rid of this entire piece here. So I need to do minus 3x and minus 3x. By the way, some of you are writing minus 3. Don't do that. It confuses you, okay? Like put minus 3x. Don't do just minus 3. So minus 3x, all right? So 2y. And then you guys, these don't combine, but put your x part first. So it's minus 3x, and that is a positive 4. So you put plus 4. And then we divide each piece by 2, all right? Divide every single thing by 2 when you divide. So this gives me my y by itself. You always pull this fraction out front because we want this to be the slope. All right, so I'm going to pull the negative 3/2 out in front of the x. And then plus 4 divided by 2 is just 2. So like go ahead and divide that, okay? All right, now we can graph the line. Do you guys remember how to graph these? Yes. Yep. So we always start here. This is the y-intercept. So be sure you plot it on the y-axis. I know I didn't give you graph paper, so just sketch a graph, all right? Just sketch a little grid with some like tick marks like this, okay? So we're going to put a point at positive 2, always on the y-axis first. All right, now your slope is negative 3/2. You can either have the negative on the top or the bottom, all right? Now, remember the top number always goes up or down. It's always the change in y, and the bottom number is always the change in x, okay, which is left or right. So this top number means we are going to go down 3 because it's negative, and the bottom number, which way are we going to go? Right 2. All right, and where do we start? You start at this 2 right here, and you're going to count down 1, 2, 3 over 2. Put a point. Down 1, 2, 3 over 2. Put a point. And we are going to do like a whole entire worksheet on this tomorrow so we can get really good at graphing lines. Okay, draw your line. When you draw it, you want to go all the way through the grid. All right, and you want arrows because this line goes forever. It is infinite. Speaking of finite and infinite, all right, it is infinite. It goes forever. All right, let's try another one. Solve for y first, then graph. Okay, so I need to get the y by itself. So Marshall, what do I need to do to get the y by itself? Good job. Add x to both sides, okay? So I have y equals x, and 0 plus x is just x, all right? And this one, a lot of people get tripped up on. What's the y-intercept of this graph? It is not one of those straight lines ones. What? Is it 1? No, that's the slope, though, because what number's in front of x that we don't see? Okay, so I do know the slope is 1 over 1. Yes. No, you don't get a pick. Is there a y-intercept? No. So what value is that? Yes. It's like you have a plus 0 here. Okay. So you can add in a little plus 0 if you want to. So the y-intercept is 0. We're going to start here. And then the slope is the number in front of x. And it is positive, positive. Which way does this guy go? Up. Top number is your change in y, always up or down. Bottom number is going to the right because it's both positive. So up 1, right 1, put a point. Up 1, right 1, put a point. All right, and then draw yourself a line all the way through the grid. All right, you guys, let's try some whiteboards. Oh, yeah, Eli. How many dots do you have to do? I mean, sometimes there's literally only room for 2. If there's enough room, do like 4. Yeah, if there's enough room. All right, let's try some whiteboard.